When I saw the title for the Netflix original series Control Z, I was all excited for a new zombie show. Imagine my surprise when I discovered that it was actually referencing the computer term Control Z, for undo. Is this high school drama worth the watch, or should I have hit undo and gotten my time back? A hacker threatens to expose all of the secrets harbored by a bunch of students at a preppy high school. If you saw the 2018 film Assassination Nation, this show borrows heavily from the premise in that movie. Sophie's our main character, and she's a little bit like Sherlock mixed with some House with a tiny bit of Nancy Drew thrown in. She's a very quiet and smart individual, but she's very observant. And what that allows her to do through the course of the show is to put all of these clues together that people don't seem to think they're putting out there, but she sees them because, well, she is observant. And she uses those clues to help her solve the mystery. Some of the characters in this are just really terrible people. And so the threat of their secrets being exposed doesn't really evoke any sympathy from me. And there are one or two of them that really just need to be kneecapped because they're even worse than everybody else. Some of the characters, though, are half decent. They just have terrible judgment. And so you can begin to feel a little bit of sympathy towards them, and you feel a little bit for them like, oh gosh, I would feel bad if everybody knew the secret that you're harboring. But because of their terrible judgment, sometimes you just shake your head a little bit at them because like, what were you thinking? The theme that weaves throughout this show and plays right into the title has to do with everybody's pasts and the mistakes. And they discuss this even at points blatantly where you just have to live with your past mistakes and let that guide your future so that you don't do that. So there is no Control Z in life. We don't get to undo the things that we did. Now we can apologize for them, we can make amends, and we can try and move forward. And I think that's what the show is trying to get across to some degree. But really it focuses a lot more on the mystery of who is threatening to expose all of these secrets for all of these people. In episode 3, it's actually titled Idiots, and it was very fitting for the content that was going on in that particular episode. I mean, there is just absolute utter chaos going on. And one thing that I did really appreciate is the camera gets right into it. And the way that they edit and they shot the scenes just really were frenetic, and it puts you in the middle of all of the action. And so you don't feel now like you're just some removed bystander. You're right there in the middle of all the crap going on, and you kind of need to watch your back. Some of the things in the show don't make a lot of sense. There's probably more than a few, but the one that really stood out to me was in episode 5. A huge threat is revealed, and it could affect a lot of people. And then it's just kind of forgotten about and never revisited, which I felt was really odd because everybody almost lost their collective minds over this threat, and then, we're moving on. Now, in order to get behind this show, you really do have to buy into the fact that the secrets that everybody are harboring are actually going to impact their lives, that these are terrible secrets and that they really mean something. Now, some of them, I argue, would be. The things that are revealed, you know what, that's kind of a private matter. That you're not the one to put those out. If that person wants to put it out, then that's up to them. But seriously, if you can't get behind that overall assumption that all of the secrets are actually really, really devastating secrets, then the show doesn't work. The mystery doesn't even work, because if you don't care about the secrets being revealed, then you don't care about who's the one that is going to reveal all of those secrets. Now, the show is quite dramatic at times, and sometimes even overdramatic or melodramatic, and it's not awesome. But like a lot of shows, I sometimes find myself being sucked in, even though they're not great. Like, I don't know, maybe it's a sucker for a bad watch or something like that. And this is not a terrible show by any means. It's not great, but I still found myself being sucked in by the mystery. I want to know, who is it? Who's got the secrets? Who's going to reveal them? And how is it going to devastate everybody? And then what's going to be the fallout if they do expose everything? Now, there are 8 episodes in this, and each one's a little longer than 30 minutes. But overall, the show felt pretty long to me. And some of it worked because the pace of it was necessary to draw it out, that it was a slower pace, that we're seeing some things unfold, and we need to feel a little bit of tension being built. And other times it felt like there was just some filler in there, that they were really just trying to make the episode longer or trying to draw out a scene that didn't need to be drawn out. And then I think one of the things that probably bugged me a lot, or maybe made the show feel longer than it actually was we get a big climax in episode 6. And we still have 2 more episodes to go. So once things happen in episode 6, I'm sitting there kind of wondering, well, where are you going to go now? What's going to happen, and what's it going to set up? Now in this, I wish a lot of the characters would have taken more responsibility for their actions. That a lot of it just seems to be pushed off on somebody else, so that I'm no longer responsible for the things that I did, and really it's your fault, and you are the cause of me behaving this way. And I mean, I get it. I understand that's real life half the time, and that's just made up for dramatic purposes also for the show. But sometimes I want to see somebody just stand up and say, yeah, I did it. I suck. I'm ready to deal with the consequences. Let's move forward. Now, I'm not really a huge fan of how the season wrapped up. It left it with maybe a cliffhanger. I kind of see what they were trying to do, and I appreciate what they were trying to set up, but I think had they switched something with a character, that it could have been more impacting. It could have been more suspenseful, maybe more urgent, more of just a cliffhanger that really leaves me at that point going, oh, what's going to happen? And as it was, somebody kind of doesn't have to face any consequences now. And that was unsatisfying to me, because we get to a point and I want somebody to have to deal with something. And the person that maybe now has to deal with it, I'm not sure I want them to have to deal with it. That makes no sense, I know, because I'm not giving you any context, but I also don't want to spoil it should you sit down to watch this 8-episode show. So overall, Control Z is not a terrible watch. It's not even bad. It is kind of fun, and as long as you can buy into some of the mystery and that some of these secrets are bad and that people really shouldn't have them revealed, then I think you can get behind the show and you can enjoy it. Of course, it is a high school drama, so it's got some melodrama in there. It's got a little bit of the teenage angst, and it's got some more, the kids even themselves don't really look like high school students. Most of them look like they're probably mid-college age or older, and so you just kind of have to suspend a little bit of belief there as well. I think most of the time when we see a high school series, most of the people playing the high school students are well outside of high school age. So it's not that big of a stretch. One thing that stood out to me in the show was a quote from the main character, Sophie. "It'd be much easier if everyone told the truth, if we didn't have any secrets, instead of lying to the people we care about." That's kind of powerful. There is a lot of sex, nudity, profanity, violence, including bullying, sexual violence, and a lot of drug use. I give Control Z 3 out of 5 couches. So are there any good teen dramas that you've been watching? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this review, please give it a like. Also, don't forget to share and subscribe. I'm Chris. This is Movies and Munchies. Thanks for couching with me.